When was the time that you realized, hey, if I change my mindset, my whole world changes?
You get to choose. Are you going to be powerful or are you going to be pitiful?
Every leader needs a trusted partner for the moments that matter. This Bold Business Podcast conversation is that partnership. Your go-to resource designed to break the inertia and refresh your perspective so you can start making moves. Here is your host, an insightful truth teller who serves as the catalyst for getting the right work done and who asks the questions that truly matter. Jess Dewell.
When Coach Cudjo came across my radar and we had an alignment call to see if there was a good fit for the Bold Business Podcast, it was a hell yeah. And in fact, it was so much so that energy that was there, it was very interesting in terms of the preparation that I do for the show too, because the things I would normally ask didn't apply. He and his presence elevated my thinking before we ever had this conversation. So take that to heart. Hold that as you listen to the rest of this introduction and the entire conversation with Coach Cudjo. I will tell you that it will fly by. I will tell you that I very much enjoyed it. And I am glad to have a new level of elevation with which to think and be influential and be present in the now with because of this conversation. So, what do we talk about? Three things that I'll start you off with that I know you will hear, plus so many more stories, real experience, and what that mindset shift can actually do is in this program. Here's three call outs to just start you off with. Sometimes all it takes is going back to what you know how to do and what you know to do. Another piece, your beliefs, conscious or unconscious, govern your actions, thoughts, and deeds. So, acknowledging, exploring, and making sure you like them is a pretty important thing. And the third thing is to embrace your conscious creator. You're creating. And when you're conscious about it, so many other things happen in this world and it will change. And you will hear Coach Cudjo's personal story. You will hear the results of his work. And let me just tell you about him. He is the founder and head coach at Human Optimization 3.0, or H3O for short. Coach Cudjo is a leading expert in performance by optimizing various aspects of life. He has over 3 decades of experience and talks to us about different phases of that in this conversation. He does consulting, executive coaching, leader coaching. He's the teacher of teachers and the leader of leaders for his work empowering individuals and communities to reach their full potential by achieving harmony in spirit, mind, and body. Coach Anthony Cudjo is a graduate of Dale Carnegie and the Landmark Forum. And he has many other accolades as well that you can learn about him on his LinkedIn bio and on his website in our show notes. Now, coming back to one, when in doubt, go back to what you know how to do. Two, be careful of your self-talk because your beliefs govern your actions, words, and deeds. And three, you're creating, so be a conscious creator. Here's my conversation with Coach Cudjo. When was the time that you realized, hey, if I change my mindset, my whole world changes?
It happened when I was rehabbing my physical body. I had numerous injuries. I was a football player. I stayed on the field probably 90% of the time, so I didn't really get a chance to rest. But I ended up having three major injuries off of one hit.
Ooh.
Everybody in my family, everybody in my community, and even myself, I had it wrapped up. I was going to the NFL. That was where I was going. Everybody thought I was heading that way too. The stats, the coaches, the scouts, everybody was paying attention to what I was doing. And I ended up having an injury my freshman year of college, which ended my football career. And I went into a major stint, Jess. I went into a major stint of depression. Depression runs in my family, genetically speak, according to the medical community. So I was in depression. And when you're depressed, I don't know if you've ever had depression in your life before, but when you're depressed, you don't want to do anything good for yourself. You don't talk good to yourself, and life becomes very dark.
Yes.
At least that was for me. So it took about a year for me to get out of that. I went to the doctor's office. It was really crazy. I didn't know what it was then, but I surely know what it is now. I went into the doctor's office to talk with him, and he did an evaluation on me, told me I had a chemical imbalance in my brain. Also told me that most likely a lot of this happened because of football, all the impact that was happening in my head, So he was like, this is probably contributing to the issue as well. And he said, I've got a prescription for you, man. I sat there for a second and I looked at him. I said, hey, doc. I said, you know what, man? I said, I didn't take a pill to get depressed, so I don't think I need to take a pill to get undepressed. He just kind of looked at me like I lost my mind, but I was serious. I was like, listen, I can always come back to you for a pill. I said, let me try something. I knew I had totally went off track, Jess. I was just not being the person that I knew I was, because depression makes you do that. And I just went back to doing what I knew I was supposed to do. I went back in the gym, started working out. I studied kinesiology so I could understand the human body and anatomy and how the body functions and moves. I started training myself. I was against the surgeries that the doctors were prescribing for me. And after a year and a half, I was 100% functional again. And then a light went off for me. I was like, my God, man, this is what you focus on. Depression is what you focus on. That's how you get depressed. You're focusing on negative things. And that's exactly what I was doing. I was focusing on the fact that I let my family down. I let myself down. I let my community down. I'm not playing football. I just got kicked out of college because that was my scholarship. So, I was focusing on all the negative events and things that were going on in my life, which transformed into negative things in my body, which made me very disabled, if you will, to be able to change it. So I went into the gym and I started working out again. I forced myself to go back in the gym, and I started using some philosophies and principles that I was learning, and I healed myself. I healed my body completely. And then I also noticed how important was, and this is what I teach people now, how important, listen to me, guys, listen, it's how important your internal conversation is, man. It's controlling everything you're doing. It's
Yeah.
controlling your creations. It's controlling your actions and behaviors. How are you talking to yourself? What are you
Well,
saying to yourself in the dark? What are you saying to yourself in the park when no one's around? That's what matters.
it is what's matters. So I want to pause here and I'd like to ask you two things, and they might not come out in the order that makes sense, but that's okay. My first thing was when you made the decision to say, okay, I could go this, I'm going to call it mainstream at the time. It's still mainstream path of let's take a pill, or, and you chose not. That was, do you feel like they were equally hard to choose from? Or when the options were presented, did one actually just show up and go, of course, this is the way? And
Well, like I was saying before, I didn't know what that was, but I know what it is now. It was my
yeah,
internal voice. It
yeah,
was my higher power.
yeah,
It was my spirit that spoke to me and said, do not do the surgery. Do not do medications. I didn't know that I was going to become an expert in health and wellness. I had no idea that I was going to be helping people get off medications for my career.
yeah,
I had no idea I was going to be helping people mend and heal their physical bodies, no matter what they were going through.
yeah, right?
God knew that. God knew it all. I had no clue because I had no clue about the blueprint that's stamped in every human being's DNA.
Mhm.
And that's what I'm here to talk about today, is that blueprint that's stamped inside of you. And let me tell you something. You've got to find out what that is. That's what you're down here for.
Yep.
You're not down here to play society's game unless you choose to. You're down here to be a creator. That's who you are. You're down here for a reason. That's why you're still here.
Yep.
There's a blueprint inside of your cells.
Mhm.
And if you'll tap into that, you're going to tap into the power that you have. And you're going to be able to create the life you desire, the life you deserve, and you'll be doing what you love. And not only doing what you love, you'll be able to monetize that as well.
You're right. And okay, so your 18-month journey from that moment when you listened to your higher self and that moment that you realized I am completely healed and I understand. I'm sure you had a whole bunch of other learnings along the way. How did you maintain that trust in yourself and that trust in your higher voice during the times that it was hard?
Excellent question. Here's how you do that.
I knew you'd have an answer for us.
You just keep doing it, babe. It's like when you go in the gym and build a muscle, you got to keep going in there to get that muscle stronger.
Yeah.
Your spirit is just like a muscle. The more you listen to it, the more you're going to hear it. Once I started listening to that inside voice, I was really afraid to listen to it, to be honest with you. I was deeply socialized, deeply. And it started off with the abuse that happened to me as a child.
Mhm.
You know, my parents, they did some things that probably wasn't the best, but they taught me how to conform. They taught me how to say yes through some of the things they did. When I moved out of my house, I was fully a follower. If you told me to do something, I would do it. My dad was in the military for 31 years, so he taught me like a soldier. He taught me how to execute. You don't ask questions, you just execute. That's the way my dad taught me. That's the household I was raised in. I didn't have an opinion. Whenever my father asked me to do something, I had to do it, no matter if I liked it or not.
It really wasn't an ask.
No, it wasn't an ask at all.
Yeah, totally. Okay. And I'm listening to you because I recognize a lot of what you're saying. And on the days that it was hard and you kept taking the steps, when was there a feeling in your body where there was that tipping point of, okay, it's going to get easier for me to do the thing that I don't want to do, knowing it's the thing to do? I'm not even going to say because it doesn't matter. The next step. And through that practice, you get to a point where it's, I can't not do this anymore because it is who I am. But on that journey of getting to that place, how taking those steps, did you feel it in yourself? Did you have an energetic change? Did you have a mental change? Did you have oh, a moment that it clicked and you knew, okay,
Yes,
I'm on that flip side of it's still going to have hard times as long as we're here, as long as we're taking that step, as long as we're developing that muscle, we can.
I'm going to say something to you
I'm ready.
that maybe you may have a difficult time believing
You
it.
will be
But
the first.
hey, you just made a statement
Yep.
that I graduated out of long time ago.
Yeah.
You see, one thing I know for sure, and the way we were created, and this is the law of your life, this is the law of my life, because it's just the law. It's the way God created everything. Listen to me. If you say it's hard, it's going to be hard. If you say it's easy, it's going to be easy. Your words are creative. You get to choose what word you use. I don't choose the word hard because nothing is hard for me. Once again, I know who I am. So nothing is hard for me. I live my life with joy, peace, and I live my life taking advantage of opportunities. See, life does not bring obstacles, not at all. Society has taught you that. Life brings nothing but opportunities. Life itself asks you questions all day. Is this what you really want? Is this who you really want to be? When those situations show up in your life, I want you to think about that before you respond and react. That life is speaking to you in a loving manner, not judging you, not trying to suppress you, not trying to defeat you, but trying to lift you and love you. Life itself knows why you're here, and it does everything it possibly can to keep you on course. But it cannot override your decisions. So when you get off course, you're not going to feel good.
Yep.
A lot of people that get off course, they don't know they're off course, but they get a cold or a flu 3 or 4 times a year. They get sick every so often, and they don't realize that that's their body talking to them and saying, hey, this is not the game you came down here for, man. You got to figure all that out.
Feeling stuck? Like, what got you here won't get you there. The pressure to grow is on, yet the path isn't clear yet. You don't have to walk that path alone. This is the Bold Business Podcast. Like and subscribe wherever you listen. Your host, Jess Dewell, is the strategic partner you've been looking for, asking the questions that truly matter. It's time to break the inertia and get the perspective you need to make your next move.
I heard you say, choose your words wisely.
Yes.
And what I read between those lines, the resonance with which we show up and the words with which we are choosing will illuminate the way forward. somebody in the same situation as us right now can look at all these things happening. Like we were having gremlins in our technology right before this started. Okay, fine. We could look at that and that could take us off course and we could be derailed from that. Or we could say, huh, they showed up. What is the piece that really needs to come out of this? Would that be a good example of a reframe in this moment of something tiny and everyday that can get under our skin?
Absolutely. That's a perfect reframe.
Yeah.
Try to approach it with happiness. You're
I
going to be amazed at how quickly your solutions come.
Yep.
I tell people you only have one problem, man, especially after me working with thousands of clients and doing this for 38 years, Jess. I realized that one common denominator that every human being has in any situation in their lives that they're trying to overcome or they're trying to make it better. You only have one problem, and it's your beliefs. It's your beliefs,
It's the
man. Your
belief.
beliefs create your path. Your beliefs create your creations, if you will. Your
Yep.
beliefs govern your actions. You see, that's the law. And when people can understand that and start monitoring their beliefs and then questioning their beliefs of where they came from, where did that belief come from? Did somebody hand that down to me and I just adopted that belief? Most likely 9 out of 10 times, that's what happened.
Yep.
Or did something in my life happen which made me believe a certain way, and now I believe that way all the time? That could happen as well. So I tell people, you've got to monitor your beliefs, man, because your beliefs are the driving thing. It's driving your behavior. It's driving your words, what you're speaking. It's driving the way you're treating people, all of that.
Mhm.
So I had to reprogram myself, and it took a lot to reprogram myself. First of all, come from a very abused background. I had injuries as an athlete, didn't make it to the NFL. So I had all of these negative energies that were piling up. And then I didn't even notice because I started talking negatively to myself. I started talking negatively to my world. And guess what? Nothing but negative situations kept showing up. And then I woke up one day when I started working out again and talking better to myself. And guess what? I was like, hold on. If I talk better to my body's getting healthier. Maybe if I talk better to my life will get better too. And then I started doing that and it got better. So then the next question I had was, does this work for everybody? Or is it just for me?
Well,
And
38
then
years is a long time.
I've had people that have had cancer come to me. I've had people that have had diseases that the doctors in the medical community said, hey, we can't help you.
Yes.
And we transform their lives, we transform their bodies and their health, and they're still with us.
Yes.
No cancer, no disease in their body.
I love that.
And now that is, it's called H3O now. So that's how I got to that place,
Okay.
through my own
Ooh.
experience and working with other people.
So in your 38 years, the name of the process that you use, this blueprint that you bring us and allow us to learn of ourselves, it had different names over the years?
Well, it started with my companies. First, it was called Fit One, which was a performance company. And I was working with athletes because I overcame my injuries as an athlete. So I started working with athletes.
Yeah.
And that company was called Fit One, and that did very well. Then I graduated. I got tired of work. Well, not tired, but just I graduated out of working with athletes. I wanted to do some deeper work outside of helping somebody bench press more weight or run down the field quicker or perform better in volleyball. I wanted to do some deeper work. So I opened up this place called Fitness RX. And my mission was to marry the homeopathic community to the allopathic community. I wanted to bring Eastern medicine and Western medicine together. I thought Western medicine had benefits. I thought the Eastern medicine had benefits. And I thought if we brought them together, we would really be able to help people. So I started that clinic, personal training studio. And next thing I know, a bunch of doctors started sending their patients to me. And I loved it. And I started working with those patients using those philosophies and principles. And I'm telling you, 9 out of 10 of them got better. The 10th person is the one who just quit.
Is there
Yeah.
value in quitting?
Well, watch this. It depends on how you look at it. If you call it quitting, that's a real heavy word that society has put on us. Don't quit, don't quit, don't quit.
Right.
There's certain things that I did as a child that I will not do as a grown man. Why? I've graduated out of it.
Yep.
That's
Learning and
all.
wisdom. There's learning and
No
wisdom.
judgment.
Yep.
They may say, hey, man, you quit this. No, I just graduated out of doing that. I don't do that anymore. It doesn't serve me anymore. And it's not part of my life anymore.
Mhm. Mhm.
And people have to understand everything in life has a season. Now, listen, I'm going to tell you something which a lot of people don't want to talk about, and this is death. We're all going to leave this body.
Right.
And I tell people, no matter what you have and what you've created on this planet, you're going to have to leave it behind.
Isn't that crazy to think about? It's so crazy to think about. And that makes the conversation about beliefs even that much richer because, yeah, we came in as a soul. We will leave as a soul. Whatever our belief system is before and after that doesn't matter. You're right. It's here. We chose here. We're chose now. So
Yes.
let's go.
Your true goal is to build something beautiful and leave it behind for humanity.
Yeah.
You see, you're
Yeah.
supposed to find that rich gift that's inside of you and leave that legacy behind. My legacy that I'm leaving behind on this planet is H3O, teaching people that they are the divine in disguise. You have every single power that God has inside of you right now. It's inside of your DNA, it's inside of your cells. Everything about you knows it but you.
So here we go. We find ourselves in a place with rules that other people have made, but they may or may not be the right rules. They may or may not resonate with ourselves. And most importantly, we get to choose.
Amen. That's your superpower.
That's
You
right.
get to choose.
We get to choose. And we don't. And here's the thing. Okay, so this is an interesting, I don't remember if we were on air or off, but we were just talking about oh, hang on. Let me see if I can find it, Coach Cudjo. Okay, I'm going to start talking. Maybe we'll find it. Maybe we won't. Whatever you just said, actually, I think we were on air because you were saying it was even before quit. It was the other one of the hard. It doesn't have to be hard. And we started talking about some of these other things and beliefs. There are times in our life, tell me if I'm incorrect about this, where we may not have a choice. We may need to be in that place and figure out how to be curious and remain open, even if the situation is incredibly difficult. It could be an outcome of our action. It could be because we are not of age yet. It could be because of who knows what the situation is, right? All of the things that happen that put us in the situation we're at. So even regardless of, and I heard you say, let's not call it hard. We can say, if we're going to stop saying hard right now, we can recognize that we're graduating out of hard and we are now putting this reframe on and we are blessed to work with all of the things that have happened to us and the choices we have right now. And the coolest part is we have choice. That's what I feel
Yes.
like. That even if we don't think we do, we have choice.
You always have choice.
Yeah.
Always. It will never be taken away from you unless you give it away. Your
Mm,
power cannot be taken away from you unless you give it away.
yeah.
Now, I'm going to say something to you guys that'll scare you. And some of you will even say to yourself, if you're heavily religiousized or you've got religion, you're probably going to say this is a blasphemous statement.
Uh-oh.
'Cause
Okay.
hey, I hear it all the time,
Yeah.
Jess. Whenever people ask me, they're like, I said, hey, man, listen, the problem is you won't accept this. I've accepted it. I am God in disguise as Anthony Cudjo. Okay. Just like you got a tree in your front yard, that's God in disguise as that tree. So if you truly believe that, then you'll understand whatever you speak over or whatever you speak, it must materialize.
Yep.
It has to.
It has
Why? Because you're a creator and you're here to create your own life.
once in a while.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you something. I'm telling you, 4 kids later and 6 grandkids. Here's the deal.
Yeah.
You can't control nobody.
Right.
Or guess what? Even God Almighty can't control you.
I love that.
Yeah. So what makes you think you're going to control your kids or any other situation? You get to influence everything.
Yeah.
So I want you to shift your focus from trying to control your children and other people
Okay.
to influencing your child and other people in a positive manner. Positive things come out of that.
Yeah.
If you influence them in a negative manner, negative things come out of that. That's the way it works. So if you're seeing your child with negative behavior, I've got good news for you and I got bad news for you. Good news is that you can change it. Bad news is you're part of the problem.
Yep. I actually think the awareness of that is also good news.
Yeah, exactly.
Every conversation has a potential outcome. Every conversation has a level of vibration. Every conversation has an opportunity to go into patterns or loops. And those, even in conversations like this, you and I have met a few times, we've talked a few times, and here we are having this conversation. So we don't know each other's what I would call human flaws, because I don't know if I believe in a flaw. I believe that we show up and we're bringing our strengths to the table. I believe that our society may or may not be ready for what those strengths are and have very hard opinions that are squeezing people places they don't need to be. And to your point about influence, I really believe that this particular mindset, what you were bringing to the table, this is going to be a skill that makes us not only able to continue to have as much choice as possible, continue to have the highest vibrational and opportunity possible over time, and the deepest connection over time, if we are willing to embrace a little more uncertainty.
Some things are going to happen that you predicted, and there's going to be some things that happen that you didn't predict. Why?
Heck
There
of
has
my
to be.
life that I predicted isn't happening, but all of the amazing wonderfulness that is happening is better than I could have ever imagined.
Really?
Yeah.
I love to hear that.
Isn't that
But
great?
you know what? Jess, I've spoken to you a couple times, man, and you have this amazing energy about yourself. You have this quiet power that I think is absolutely amazing. So at the end of the day, I did a seminar for a bunch of leaders. It was a workshop, and I was teaching them how to lead properly. And I told them, I said, listen, if you're leading and you're not leading on the foundation of love, then you're not really a leader. So if you're looking for negative things in your team, you're looking for negative things in other people, you're going to find them. That's your faith, your belief, your direction, your vibration, your frequency. All of those things are working in that direction. Now, let's flip that coin over. If you're looking for good things in people, you'll find them.
Mhm.
If you speak good things into people, you're going to find that they will transform into better people just by you speaking. You have the power to influence, but not the power to change or control.
Okay, I want to talk a minute about this blueprint.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I want to know.
Well, I want you to understand how I discovered it. First of all,
Okay.
I discovered it implementing it in my life first. Okay.
Yep.
But not only that, I looked at the common denominator of us all.
Mhm.
So the blueprint is this. At the end of the day, you cannot change your life and you will not change your life until you change your internal conversation. That's critically important. You cannot speak negatively to yourself and do positive things. It's against the energy and against the law of energy.
Mhm.
The first step is this: respect and honor thy body. End of story. Respect and honor your body. What I mean by that is take care of your body. It's your tool of creation. If you are a carpenter, you're going to take very good care of your tools because your tools are the things that you use to make beautiful carpentry, to make a desk, to make a chair. I'm telling you right now, the law is your physical body is your creative tool. And if you don't believe me, I want you to think about anything that you can do in this life without your body.
Nothing.
There's nothing without your body.
That's right.
Everything comes from your body. Your actions come from your body. Your words come from your body. Your thoughts come from your body. Your emotions come from your body. That's why I need you to take care of your body.
Mhm.
Okay? When you're unhealthy, you are vibrating at a very low frequency. And when you vibrate at a very low frequency, you are vibrating at the level of sickness and disease. Sickness and disease is a low frequency, and you have to match that frequency in order for it to manifest in your life. That's the law. That's good news.
Mhm.
Because if you're a positive person and you're speaking positively, your frequency and vibration elevates so high that sickness and disease cannot enter your body. Exercise, build muscle. Muscle equals mobility. You see, I'm 60 years old. I've been working out for over 38 years. I don't have any sickness in my body. I don't take any medications, and I am physically fit, probably better than most 20-year-olds.
Hang on.
I take supplements
Mhm.
because supplements help your body to produce its own chemistry.
That we
Pharmaceutical
can't get in our.
medications shut that completely down.
Yes.
Oh,
I
I'm
like that.
all supplements. Anyone listening to me now, if you're the age of 40 or older, you better get on these supplements right now. I'm telling you, you need to be on a fish oil.
Yep.
You need to be on a fish oil. Why? Because it builds your cardiovascular health and it builds your vascular system. You want your heart healthy? Fish oils. You want your vascular system strong? Fish oils.
Mhm.
The other thing that you should be on, CoQ10
Okay.
is going to make your body and it's going to take care of your heart. If you have no heart, you have no life.
Let alone being able to love, but we got to start with the body, like you said.
The
Okay.
body is first, man. And the
Yeah.
other thing you want to be on is you want to be on a probiotic. Okay. As you get older, mental decline, cognitive decline will naturally happen.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got your first brain is in your gut, and
Yep.
your second brain is in your skull,
I'll add a third one, which is your heart.
which is your heart.
Yes, I like it. Because you said it too. I'm just going to be like, and your heart. Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
the way I discovered that is because when I had Fitness RX, I had some patients or clients come to me that had dementia. They had Alzheimer's.
Yep.
Okay. And guess what we did?
I can't wait to hear.
We cured them of it.
Yeah.
In the medical communities, they came after me, Jess.
Oh,
They came after me. They're like, "What do you think you're doing over there?" I said, "Hey, man, listen to me. I'm not trying to be a doctor. All I'm doing is
yep.
putting the human body in the right environment so it can heal itself."
Yep.
Doing.
That's all.
So, whenever I had people that come to me that had cognitive decline,
Yep.
Alzheimer's, dementia, we put them in hyperbaric chambers. We changed their diet to a vegetation diet.
Mhm.
We also had them on probiotics. We also had them exercising. We also had them doing affirmations. We had them doing a lot of things synergistically that created harmony within the body, which caused the biology of the body to unlock, and their body was able to heal itself.
Interesting.
And the reason why I found out about the brain is I did something in Atlanta. I went to go see a guy, a good friend of mine. His name is Bill Schindler. He's just amazing. And he introduced me into something which you may have done this. I'm not sure, Jess. It's called, have you ever heard of thermography?
I've heard of it, but I don't think I have ever done that.
Thermography is a wonderful thing. All
Yeah.
it does, it takes a thermal image of your body so you
Uh-huh.
can see where oxygen and blood flow is
Oh,
flowing well.
cool. I have
You
not
can
done that.
also,
That would be neat.
yeah. So whenever I've seen patients that had, cognitive decline,
Uh-huh.
we did a thermographic picture of their brain and we could see the area where there was a lack of oxygen and a lack of blood flow,
Wow.
which was causing the dysfunction.
Yeah.
So we actually used hyperbaric chambers to push the oxygen into the cell properly. We alkalized the body so the body would get out of an acidic state. And we also got exercise going
Yep.
to where they were doing better. And so
Yeah.
when we pushed more oxygen and blood flow, exercise increases blood flow. That's why you want to exercise. Okay. So when we increased blood flow, we hydrated them at a cellular level, and we also increased oxygen into their system. The body did the rest.
If your week feels like you're being pulled from one demand to the next, this is for you. The daily grind is the #1 killer of business instinct, pulling you and your team away from your vision. Reclaim your strategic edge with the Present Retreat. This free guide from Red Direction is a simple, powerful framework to carve out the space you need, to filter out the noise, make the right decisions, and lead with clarity. Visit presentretreat.com.
We've been talking about the shift, and it's not even a process. It is a shift to commit to expand and open up. I'm not even going to say thinking, it's experience. It's beyond one brain. You were just talking about the gut brain and the head brain, and conditioning and stories live in our head brain. The practice is positive self talk plus take care of body, full stop.
Yes. And, I had some clients come to me. They've been talking to themselves for so long in a negative manner that when I was telling them they needed to start talking to themselves more positively,
Mhm.
they were having a difficult time doing that.
Mhm.
So that's why I know exercise. I love exercise because it just naturally transforms your internal conversation. You will start talking better to yourself naturally. I cannot explain the law or the science behind it, but I am telling you right now, you will start talking to yourself better. And the reason why is you are honoring your body, you're taking better care of yourself, you're empowering yourself. Your body has a chance to heal better. You have more energy. So guess what? Life gets better.
Yes, totally. It's
When you're exercising, I do need you to make sure you have a resistance component in there. You have to be building muscle on your body.
yes.
The number one thing that causes us to age aggressively, that also causes us to get premature sickness and disease in our body, it's called sarcopenia. That's when your body is aggressively atrophying muscle. And that's why you have to keep muscle on your body. The number one reason and the number one issue that's killing our seniors today, what do you think it is, Jess? What do you think is killing the seniors today?
I was going to say being sedentary.
You know what the number one killer of seniors is?
What?
Falling.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So you're right. So the actual action. Yes. Yes.
Falling, falling, and all the repercussions that happen afterwards.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's costing our country trillions of dollars. We're losing seniors prematurely. And guess what? When you don't work your balance and you don't work your muscle, you're going to fall.
Yeah.
When you get older, you're going to fall. And if you don't want that to happen, you better start doing something about it now. I tell people you can either pay the price now or pay the price later, but you will have to pay. The cheapest healthcare that I have ever found in the 60 years I've been walking on this planet is you taking care of yourself.
I love that.
It's not your government's job. And I know right now the healthcare issue in our country is real wiggly. I understand what's happening. Premiums are going up, co-pays are going up, and seniors' incomes are not going up. So they're pretty much putting our seniors in a really bad place,
Yes.
which truly, to be honest with you, pisses me off, man, because the very ground that we're standing on, our seniors built that ground for us. How dare we turn our backs on them?
Yes.
There's two populations that I am very, very passionate about. It's our children and our seniors. We're abusing our children. We're exploiting our children. We're killing our children. And we're forgetting our seniors. And we call ourselves civilized. We're not civilized. A civil nation would never do that to their people. And I'm just going to say it straight up. So I'm telling you right now, man, get your power back.
Get your power back.
God created you in a magnificent way. Your body heals itself. You are a creator by design. There's no way you can get away from it. I'm trying to inspire you to be a conscious creator. There's a big difference. You're creating right now, you're just not conscious about it. You're speaking negatively over your life, and you're wondering why your life is showing up negative. You are a creator. The universe doesn't care. It just cares about what you say and what you believe, and it's going to support you in that manner. The universe's vocabulary is very limited. The universe says to you, is this what you really want? You call it obstacle. I call it opportunity. When things show up in your life, you can look at it two ways, obstacle or opportunity. I choose to look at it as opportunity because that's the way that the universe is looking at it. It gives you an opportunity. Hey, is this what you want? Is this what you really want to be? Is this what's serving you? Okay. And then you get to answer that question. It's going to say, so be it.
Which goes back to seek and you will find. It
Yes.
also goes back to if it's an obstacle, maybe there's conquer involved. If it is an opportunity, maybe there is influence involved.
And there's growth involved. You see,
Woohoo!
we came down and now this is something else.
Yeah.
Have you noticed everything in nature grows?
Yes.
Is there one thing you have seen in nature that does not grow? Animals grow, grass grows, trees grow, flowers grow.
Yeah.
And we grow as humans too. Now, and again, we talked about choice, Jess.
Yeah.
You can either choose to self evolve or you can let life evolve you. You're
Either
part of
way.
nature. There's no way around. And even if you decided, hey, man, you know what? I've had enough of this life. I'm just going to commit suicide. Guess what? You just transformed back into a spirit, and that was growth.
Yeah, totally and completely. This is interesting. When you knew and you shared about being a football player on a particular path and carrying a lot of expectation and desire and hope from not only yourself, your family, and your community. And I feel like you still have all of that today in a very different path. Where does the word sacrifice fit into any of that? Do you ever felt like you sacrificed and then you held that heavy burden in a positive, loving place? Or did sacrifice to be that good and to do that much before and after have no sacrifice at all? I'm just curious about that because I hear you talk about mindset and I hear mindset people talking about this need to sacrifice, be really good at one thing. And there's always a cost, even if that cost is compassionate and positive or neutral and never negative. So I'm curious your take on that.
I, again, the way I live my life and the perspective and definitions I have about my life,
Yeah.
there is no sacrifice.
Yeah. So I want to hear more about that from you and your experience.
Yeah, there's no sacrifice. This is the law, guys. I had to discover this stuff, man, and it took me a while, but this is the law. There is no future and there is no past. These are all confines and creations of men. You see, if you'll notice, what does society do? They try to keep you living in the past or they try to keep you living in the future. You live in the past, you have depression. You live in the future, you have anxiety. And if I can keep you depressed or I can keep you anxious about things, I can control you.
Yeah.
All you really have, man, is now. NOW. And what that really stands for, now, NOW, stands for there is no other way. There's no other way to your dreams. There's no other way to your self creations. There's no other way. Just now. What do I mean by that? I want you to learn how to master the moment of now. I've learned how to master the moment of now. I have no anxiety. I have no depression. I don't see sacrifice. I live in the moment of now as powerfully as I can. You get to choose. Are you going to be powerful or are you going to be pitiful? See, a pitiful person is someone who's always making excuses, passing the buck, giving their power away to people, right? Negative thinkers, negative speakers. A powerful person is someone who operates in love, someone who lifts humanity, someone who speaks well over their body, their lives, their finances. That's a powerful person. You get to choose. Do you want to be powerful or do you want to be pitiful? I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm just saying make a decision.
And you probably are. So
Oh, you're
can you look
making one.
right?
They're making it. You're just not doing it consciously. If
Yeah,
you're walking
right.
around talking about you're broke, you're only
Yep.
broke because you said it.
Yep.
Hey, listen, here's the deal. Let me show you something about money. Okay.
I'm ready.
There's enough air on this planet for all of us, isn't it? There's enough money on this planet for all of us as well.
Hmm.
Money is nothing but energy. If you speak negatively towards it, you push it away from you. If you speak positively toward it, you draw it near. You draw it towards you. Why? Because by law, you are a bioelectrical magnetic device.
Mhm.
And when you get with that and understand that you have the power to create whatever you want through your thoughts, your words, and your deeds, see, nothing's been created without that. Do you know that all of those things, as diverse as they all were created the same way through thought, word, and deed?
Yep.
Now, for people that don't believe me, I'm just going to use that little picture behind you.
Mhm.
Somebody painted that picture, didn't it? There was an artist that created that artwork.
An artist created that artwork.
So here's what happened. That artist got inspired. They got an idea, they got a thought, they got an image in their head. So I ask people, have you ever really stopped to ask where that came from?
Yeah.
Most people just don't dig deep like
Most
that,
people
man.
don't
They're
dig.
not interested. I'm interested.
Mhm.
Where did that come from? I'm getting ready to tell you where it came from. That inspiration came from God. Now, so here's what happened with that artist. They got that idea in their head. They started thinking about it over and over and over again. That's how it all works. Because as you think about it again and again and again, you are building energy momentum. And then the next thing they did, they started talking about it. Oh man, I wonder what color I want to make that. I want to make that blue. No, I want to make that green. I think I'm going to put some yellow in there and some white in there. And oh yeah, I'm going to use a large canvas versus a small one. So they started talking to themselves about it.
Mhm.
They may have had an external conversation. That's not necessary, but they may have had that as well. And if you do have an external conversation about your thoughts and your ideas that you're having internally, you're creating more energy around it. That's the next level of energy and vibration and frequency within the creation. This is the law, guys. This is not my opinion. This is how you're creating everything in your life right now. And then after they thought about it and spoke about it for a while, they were almost forced through energy to take action. And they painted that beautiful picture. And guess what? I don't know if you bought that or it was gifted to you, but you know what? They
What?
put that beautiful art into the world.
Oh, I bought it.
And there you go. There's that law I was telling you about, and there's the proof and evidence. You can do what you love doing and make money.
Yep.
My wife is an artist. You know, and I'm going to tell you something. This is a true story.
Okay.
So she graduated from North Texas, and she has 3 degrees, but she has an art degree and she loves art. So I met her in this little town, Texarkana. I was
Yeah.
down there on a consulting job,
Mhm.
and we bumped into each other in the gym, and we just started having a conversation. She told me she was an artist. We started talking about that. Our first date we went on was at Painting with a Twist, and we did some art together. And I asked her, I said, she was actually she was the front desk manager at the gym.
Okay.
And so I asked her, I said, how come you're not doing your art? And she goes, I can't live off of that. Starving artist mindset. Have you ever heard that before?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So she took her little time to explain all that to me. I said, you went to college for art. What do you mean? I said, you're just going to let that degree sit there and get dusty, or are you going to do something about it? She was like, I can't sell art here. This is Texarkana. This is a small town. No one's going to want contemporary art. She continued to talk against her belief, her desire, her love for art, because she didn't believe that she could monetize it.
Oh,
So I told her, I said, Cheyenne, I said, baby, I'm going to show you something. And she said, what? I said, I want you to change what you're saying about that. I want you to start saying that you are a wealthy artist. I want you to start saying you are a successful artist versus saying that you cannot do this.
mhm.
So she started saying it, and it took her a while to finally make it part of her natural conversation. I'd say probably about 6 months. She bumped into someone at an art studio. She was in there buying some supplies, and she bumped into this lady, and they started talking about art. She did not know that the woman had a restaurant, and she was opening up a restaurant, and she was looking for some art to put on her walls. So Cheyenne came home and said, I met somebody who's interested in, she's opening up her restaurant, and we were talking about art, and she said that she wanted some art in her restaurant. I said, really? I said, you have her name and number? She goes, yeah. I said, let's set up an appointment. So we set up an appointment, and I told Cheyenne, I said, I just want you to sit there and be quiet.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something. I said, I'm your marketing guy right now, okay? So she agreed. I said, if I have an art question, I'll ask you the question. And if she has an art question, she'll ask you the question. I said, but let me deal with the money and all the other stuff. Okay. So she goes, okay. Long story short, we sit there, we talk to the lady. We finally decided the type of art that she wanted. Cheyenne walked out of that office with a $15,000 deal. And believe me, that changed her whole perspective.
Yes.
So I told her, I said, watch this, because I knew what energy will do. I knew the law of energy. She didn't understand it. I said, go do your best and make that piece. I'm talking about do your best.
Bring it.
100%, 100%
Yeah.
of the time, pour all yourself into that.
Yeah.
And she did. Jess, there was days that I had to knock on her studio because she was in there for 24 hours, no sleep. She wasn't eating. She wasn't doing anything. She was in the middle of her Friday night essence. Okay. So she was doing all that. She did a great job. We went and hung up the piece in the ladies' restaurant. One of her partners was down from Dallas, Texas. He is an advocate, art investor, collector. So he told her, he goes, I want you to do some more pieces in the restaurant. So she ended up, when we put that $15,000 piece up, she ended up getting $10,000 more work out of that same restaurant. And
Yep.
then he told her, after you finish that, I want you to make some art for my house. When we left there, she wasn't saying she was a starving artist anymore.
Nope.
I told her, I said, you need to start saying you are a multi-million-dollar artist.
That's right.
And watch the universe do the rest.
Yeah. Here we are.
She's
Lovely.
doing very well.
Go Cheyenne. That is an amazing story. Thank you for sharing it.
Well, your perspective, your conversation,
Mhm.
your belief is creating your life.
Yeah. Tell me what makes it bold Coach Cudjo, what makes it bold to activate ourselves so that we can really tap into our full potential?
Knowing is what makes you bold. That's why I speak of this with so much boldness, if you will, because I know I am beyond belief. I know who I am. I know the power that I have as a creator. I know how to create what I desire. So I walk around with a certain energy that a lot of people are attracted to. And I'm like, listen, you could be the same way. You just have to make a decision. Powerful or pitiful, which one you want. Powerful people don't walk around with their head down. Powerful people, when they walk in a room, they change the whole atmosphere of the room. Powerful people want to be around you. That doesn't happen for pitiful people. Only thing about a pitiful person is you're going to find more pitiful people to be around. It's energy, man.
And that brings us to the close of another powerful and fresh perspective on the Bold Business Podcast. In today's volatile landscape, growth is a double-edged sword. To truly thrive, you must engage with your strategy, not just react to the day-to-day. Without absolute alignment, your company faces a stark choice: outmaneuver or be outmaneuvered, grow or get left behind. Thank you for listening, and a special thanks to the Scott Treatment for technical production.